All right. All right, I'm live. Um, I realize that this is, you know, not it's not the best laptop, and this isn't the best kind of camera and all that kind of stuff. It's not really too high tech. So, production value is well, my budget is zero. So just cut me some slack on that. This is Dr. Mia Luke. It is September 26, 2025 at 9:02 a.m. Eastern Time, New York, USA. um, just there been some questions that were sent to me because I have the answer for them. Uh, some adults obviously it's like this isn't for you, and it's okay. But we're gonna do some clarifying quickly about like certain terminology that was used on Earth. Okay, and in some cases still is. Okay, it's just that when it comes to certain things, all right, the terminology changed because it's a little more like certain processes change in order to help people along a little better along the way. So when it comes to like concubines, right? When it comes to me, um, yeah, they're mine all male, and sometimes before something happens that involves the one known as Jesus, um, right? He will return before I return, so to speak. So I mean, it's coming, right? Everybody? But when it comes to me, you know, mine are allowed to marry and have children, and most of the time they don't really have to worry about it. But sometimes they, right, at certain times they were where they could be called to duty, so to speak. And so how that gets handled is not divorce or anything. It's similar to being widowed, like their family is a widow. Okay, but they get taken care of really well, and um, they get um, sort of married again, and so there's no attachment. You understand? And sometimes they'll ask to have memories quite literally erased because it can cause some problems and extra grief and other kind of stuff that just doesn't need to be there. And the children are well taken care of. And as far as they will remember, it's just like that's their dad. And so this is why when they remarry in that way, it's usually some kind of male from a certain genetic line. Okay, that doesn't get handled by me, but it's not technically a divorce. Okay? We handle it differently. When I say we, it's some of us um, understand certain processes a little better than others. So if it doesn't apply to you, it's not going to apply to you. You know, don't be confused about it. If it doesn't like ring a bell and you're not, then yeah, it's not meant for you. But I had to call mine, and there was one that was missing, so we had, yeah, but that's okay. He's not anymore. It just happens that way. But to me, they have free will. Okay, and no, I don't have sex with all of them. You understand? Sexual intercourse. You understand what I'm saying? Right. But at this point, because I need a little extra cover, I mean, I'm returning to myself. It's just, right. I need to build back up, and so now I need the resources that were put aside for me, and that way they can help cover me and um, like look out for me, so that while I'm kind of building back up, the best exercise for me, and my brothers are aware of this, and now they are, is I need a lap pool. Okay, low impact, but it will help me. And but I also need like an extra guardian because there's a few things that still could happen. I mean, it won't kill me or anything. It's just like some of it. I received some extra damage because somebody added when they shouldn't have. When right, but I wanted to put mine ahead of me to make sure they were okay, uh, so that they could in turn kind of watch over me while I build back up. So I'm like 70%, but I need to swim. It's low impact, and yeah, I mean, I'm okay that way, and I grew back, and it's okay. So no one needs to kind of like air quote word, but those terms are not used anymore on Earth in certain places and other kind of things. So it's that's kind of like an older term for like a family where you have a brother from another mother. So my family, I grew up with only brothers, which is another reason why sometimes I'm like, all right, I get it, females, I know, but don't give me any crap because I can help you by working through them, and I'm a little more used to males because that's just been the way my life has gone, where I'm around males a lot more than I'm around females. It doesn't mean I don't like females. It doesn't have anything to do with that. But he can help the males right through females, and so it's that was one of the questions, and that's where some confusion happened. So right, it kind of came to me to sort of explain some things in a little more common, everyday, regular, modern English. Okay. So yeah, and there's some. I mean, I'm allowed to get married. I just needed certain things to happen for him before, and there were some who expressed interest, which is fine. It's just that yeah, some. I mean, any who were married at certain point in times, like no, you're not, because you're not going to get a divorce. Is what I'm saying. He's not going to do that. And one of mine was an issue, so I had to transfer that one to sort of like the invisible prison, where that one's going to stay in perfect containment. I can't be contained a certain way, right? It can cause issues that anybody tries. So um, there's some things that I can do that others can't, but that's okay because there's some things that others do that I can or I'm not really good at. I mean, this is better this way. So things are starting to return to normal, but some like you're getting a new normal, and they're the ones who slowly or more, or yeah, they're getting handled more slowly because they need to get used to some things, and they need to get used to light. So you're not just gonna blare them with the light. You see what I'm trying to say? It's sort of like slowly but surely, right? Help them sort of adjust and get used to it. So it's the scientific term, especially psychology, but it's also in some biological thing, habituation, which means they become, you know, more and more tuned into it, and they start adjusting to it, and it starts to become kind of like how things are. So that's a slower process, and someone has taken over for me. Yeah, a male of the goalie kind, fully trained, so that I can concentrate on a few other things. But I have to do the swimming thing now. So um, right. So I am asking for a quick ride from my current location so that I can take care of that. Uh, and then something else in turn will happen. Um, I do say, point blank, okay, anybody who hears this, don't pay any mind or any attention to those who get online or tell you in person. That, oh, it's September 23rd, the rapture, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it can get really hurtful and it can be really harmful because, some people, they're even faith, they're just getting improper. Yes, some being misguided, and that one has failed. And that had really nothing to do with me other than to say, well, I can put a safety circle around for a short period of time so that one's going to be handled by not me. Some angry one's going to handle that. I don't have any idea. Right? That gets closed and sealed away from me. I don't have a clue. I will never have a clue. Don't be looking at me for that information. And I don't have a lot of answers other than to say that there is some terminology that's used now more modern. And so it doesn't really get seen the same way. And there are plenty of people who have slightly different perceptive systems. So you can explain something that, some aren't really going to understand totally. So, you know, if anyone's getting a little too frustrated, it's okay. You can step out and another can step in. It's okay. When you start feeling it's okay. Don't worry. I mean, it happens. So, I'm back to myself, and mine grew back, and I'm okay, and I have my free will back, all that kind of stuff. I just need to exercise a certain way, and by that I mean swimming. It's less hard on my body, but it's also the quickest way for me to get you know built up to. Yeah, well, he's gonna want 95%. Um, so I just need to accept that this is his you know way of looking after me. So temporarily in certain circles like that, then so my brothers are brought in so that they can great like help me and cover me while I'm kind of building back up. So I'm not doing much, but I am refocusing back on the ice hockey, um, and there are some musical types who now understand better and they know what to do. Okay, and the second chancers, right? They come to me first, right? But my air quote, mind. It's not like what some yeah, it's not like what some of you think or have heard or anything like that. I mean, yeah, but they were prepared for that, and so were their families before they got married. Right? I mean, it's known, and now is the time. They've all been found, and so they're getting called to me, and I know where I'm going, but I just need a little bit of assistance getting there because I'm not like up to 95%. But this will help people in the near future. The more quickly I do that. So sometimes it seems like I'm going really slow, but I'm able to kind of pace slower than some or a little more quickly, and that helps them. So the safety circle's gone because they don't need it anymore, and there are plenty who made it fine. The rest, though, is up to someone else because I need to concentrate on building back up, and he's insisting on to 95%. Okay, so anybody who had a different percentage of mine, now you know, he insists that I'm back up to 95% before certain things. Right? So a lot of this is being done because I'm aware of how humans think, and it's going to reduce stress, anxiety, stuff that comes sometimes. And I mean, after a while, it can be actually harmful to the body. So, right, this is gonna kind of like help pick up speed, for those who are coming behind. And yeah, they'll be okay. They'll be okay. Right. I mean, they'll be ready for it. It'll feel fine. There won't be any, side effects that can happen sometimes. And you want added, so it affected me and some of mine negatively. So I asked that they go ahead of me so I could make sure they were all good. So they could then turn around and help me and cover me. And so I have a couple extra guardians of me on me. Okay. Um, I mean, it's there's an awareness that some aren't understanding certain terminology, or and that's okay. Where you need that understanding, there's some who will be helping with that, but it won't be me. And then the one who added is in everybody's crap list, and so there is this invisible prison kind of thing. It's sort of like an invisible fence. If you guys, anybody with dogs, okay, that's not my system. I don't fit in there. It's not, but I can transfer there, and I'm only transferring one, and that was a yes. Uh, a Masonic situation, one house, and they know their acceptable loss had basically booted that one out. Okay, so right, so I need my reparations from that house now. That'll help everything, but that one is being held in a certain type of captivity, prison containment on purpose, and I don't want to have any dealings because it's just like, have you done enough damage? And so, if you two birdies down, you know what I'm saying? Right. And they cause harm where they shouldn't have. So mine, when I let mine go ahead of me so that they could be all good to go, so that they could, yeah, turn around and help me. So some might be trying to help me, and you don't have to. Okay, you don't have to. It's all been put in place for me, and I know what to do about certain things, and I know how to do the physical activity in order to get up to 95. But he's going to insist that I'm at 95. So some, you're actually talking to the wrong one, though. Okay, so that's why I'm trying to point like to the one you understand. Okay, because like I'm only a part of one angelic church, and so that's why Revelation is what I'm saying is seven lamps. So right, I mean, I can talk to them occasionally. I can maneuver some who just are a little confused and lost, but there's a limit to what I can do because if it's not a part of this particular part of, to say, the body of Christ, it's not something I'm able to do anyway. So, but I always check the Christ because there are things that I don't know, so I need to make the proper decisions. And so, I mean, my record is I've never wrongfully convicted anyone, which is why no matter what my original name might be, he always gives me an M name. M. Okay, I always get an M. And so someone figured out who I am, and so well, you're not really mine. So, but get you maneuvered, right? Uh, so that's all basically taken care of. And there's some things I know make people nervous, and you're not really sure. It's okay. Like you get help. Now, some music that's on earth is actually mine, and that's hard to explain. Most of the time, now, you know, I don't need to take any credit. I don't. It's not because it's they who actually do the work. They kind of and put it in a way. There's only one that I need to claim. Um, right. Well, they owe me a solid because they just went off all half cocked without asking any questions and thought they were, essentially, I'm to some. Okay, they see me as like their God. Not because I was pretending to, you understand? But the better term nowadays though is Godhead. Right? And I would never ever like war is infantile. So I'm always on good terms with him. and the one known as Jesus and I never lose each other. So, of the ones in the family that way, I just happened to be available and have a little extra time, and so I knew that he could maneuver so that I could completely finish out, which I have, and I finished out. Um, right, there's some terminology I understand, and it's kind of like hard sometimes because people aren't trained. You're not That's not your thing, and it can get a little bit mixed up. So there were some found blameless, as I was, again, but some weren't, and they are handle the consequences. And there are some who were led to believe that they were not subject to human law, and unfortunately, right, well, they're finding out that that was not the case. Is why so many of them seem so surprised. Like, well, you should have checked through Christ. So that's on you, and so you're gonna, face the consequences of it. But when it comes, at least to the United States at this point, what I can say is those who are around who may not, they have some special conversation. That doesn't mean, though, that they're allowed to go outside the boundaries of love. You're still bound to certain things. So that gets handled a little differently. But, human beings need to understand what angels, okay, can see and do things that you guys don't even know about. Like, they're not built the same. It's not the same. Uh, And yeah, well, I mean, I knew that there had to be someone maneuvering in every which way kind of wrong, which, you know, caused me and mine undue harm, which is why I asked that they get taken care of first. So that, oh, yeah. So, right. I mean, I knew. It's like, what the hell, man? Obviously, you don't know. Right. You're putting me through the mail process. What the hell are you doing? I know, but some think I always have an M name. You understand? Any name I get at any point in time, it always is an letter M. You understand? Okay. So some of you are now understanding who I am, and no, I might seem like a demon to some. I might, seem like something else, but it's basically right because I can maneuver. I don't have those kind of limitations, so I can maneuver better in those ways. And since I have a little extra time, I'm like, well, I'll jump in and help out. We can, get more done more quickly, which in turn, those coming right, it'll help them a lot. And it'll avoid some things that have happened in what's called the past, human past. Okay. So some of you are becoming more aware of things, and that's permitted. When it comes to what gets released from the U.S. government, I don't have, much information other than to say, well, some of it has to be, you know, looked at for authenticity, and some were gathering information and they weren't quite finished yet. And some, sources and names that have to be protected. That's the way it works. So there'll be some things coming to light quickly, okay? Um, and I know that some things are being unredacted, but that's all I know, right? Because I don't usually, get involved with any of that. It's like separate, right here. But I can take care of some who, in the spiritual sense, really messed up. And so, yeah, you guys are stuck to me whether you like it or not. Some chose using their free will. And they're all males. And their wives, everybody's been informed. They know what's going on. And so it might seem wrong to some. I mean, that's known it would, but it's sort of like, but just let the Angels handle that right now. Okay, and I don't mean the baseball team. Yeah, here. Okay, I just wanted you guys to know that. And so I'll do this. Okay, so you know it's not a W or anything like that, right? I'm always gonna have a name that starts with the letter M in the English alphabet. Okay? Some of you got tricked on purpose. That was not my doing, but I was used to help trick you because you needed to pass tests. And whatever harm got done to me is, yeah, he can heal that easy. So, you know, I said I would, be happy to help out when it's time came. So because of certain things, I just want just across the board, everybody. I'm right. I mean, if no one wants to get married to me, like, ouch, jeez, like, well, I got a bad rap. Yes. Okay, everybody. I'm just gonna tell you, Mephistopheles is not a male, and he lets them air quote seemingly worship, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that because I know who my boss is. You know what I'm saying? And he and I were family. But so we look at it like Godhead. Okay, that's a more normal term for these kind of days. But uh, but, but I mean, it's still an angel. Like it's hard to explain. And so I know some it frightens you. So this is why I'm saying, yeah, Zussy, guys, covered. Don't. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I was hidden, but we just will wait. And yeah, I don't want to frighten some because there's no need to do that. Okay. Um, but along the way, though, I mean, yeah, I've made a boo boo here and there. It just is the case. But it's known that when that happens, we get a little bit of leeway to either clean up a mess or go help make it, or we're allowed. Okay, so some are seemingly worshiping me, but that's not really what's going on. And some will offer their let give me their will, like they use their free will, right, to choose me for a time, and I always let everyone having anything to do with me use their free will. And there was only one exception because yeah, he pulled the ultimate no, and that hurt everybody. And that's unacceptable. So that one's in the prison system, and I don't even know. Yeah, right. So yes, I'm also a savior. It's just right. Some aren't ready yet for what some of you looking at it like next level. I mean, if that helps you understand better, then that's okay. There's other terminology that could be used, and where clarity needs to happen, it won't be me doing this anymore. It'll be one of my brothers. So I have brothers from the same family and lineage, but I also have brothers that are like brothers from another mother. And only the brothers from another mother are candidates to marry me, understand? Okay? Some didn't get married, but they made children, so it's kind of, then it has to kind of, right, then there needs to be kind of an understanding there, and that gets handled by a male, air quote that. But I have my own command, you understand? I mean, ultimately, I serve my brother with Like, he's in my lineage, so like, I'm not gonna make babies with those kind of. So only those who are brothers from another mother were even possible candidates. Um, but I mean, I had every right, and I still have that right completely to say, well, I'm not gonna stay if I'm not married. Somebody good, and instead of waiting for me, right, was their perfect match. They married someone else and had a child. So it was up to me to decide. And I'm like, nope, too bad, Senator. There's others. People say plenty of fish in the sea. Uh, and if you're allowed a divorce, I don't have any say in that. But, I will sort of be highly resistant to anyone. Yeah, because it may not have been authorized or seen properly, and you're somewhat really permitted to get a divorce in order to marry. And some were not married at a certain time, so but yeah, I mean, he's just not gonna let you get a divorce. I don't know what to tell you. You gotta go somewhere else with that. All right. So it's kind of like some of my stuff's pre-planned for me, but I'm at like 70, 75%. So yeah, I need to get up to about 95%. So essentially, what's happening, the best way to put it on earth is I'm getting a year like sick leave, right? Um, and because too many are trying to help me, which I understand, but you're kind of like being blocked and forced away from that now, okay? Because you're actually causing me harm, and it's not okay. So the kind of help I need is going to come directly to me where I am and move me to a certain physical location on Earth. Okay, and that's been pre-decided. Like some of the musicians, I mean, they would kind of really mess up badly because of who you summoned and shit. So, that is being handled by others because I'm sort of on sick leave now. I mean, yeah, I need more sleep than usual. Some of the doctor, yeah, it's just I get it, but my situation is slightly different, and I appreciate anybody tries to help, but unless you're one of my brothers from the same lineage, or one of my brothers from another mother, you can't really help me, so it's okay. And we're gonna have to forcefully stop that though, because I need to focus in on some other things and just kind of right do something. So I know a lot of this people are like holy bullshit, right? I get it, right? A lot of the things that some of us do or help make happen may not happen uh, on Earth, but may not happen in the near future. So we're aware that some of it's not going to be seen. I mean, some of you aren't going to know for a while, right? But yeah, I don't need to do ceremonies and other kind of stuff. I'm like, well, if that was fake Illuminati, I'm like, I don't know if you're doing that, man. Like, there's some other sources that, like, whatever, just leave me out of it, man. But anybody trying to fake or pretend with me, right, you need to stop immediately because you won't survive it, and my brothers are allowed to end you. Any of them. So, right, but I need my husband, right, the one, right, that I'm now, right, and so some off, some let. him know that they were interested in those who were married at a certain time. But no, sorry, yeah, out you go. So there's only really a few, okay? But okay, it's not going to be in from the hockey sphere, okay? That's one part. And some of the musicians who are actual musicians, you need to take time to clean up your mess. And so I'm not the one who's going to be able to provide you that time. But you have to go to Jesus to get that time. You don't have a choice. All right. Anyway, so to some, I come across as an air quote demon. To some, I can right. I don't. I never have to deal with any of the hierarchy, which is why I knew some of you didn't know what the hell you were doing, and you were just causing harm everywhere you went, all thinking that you were doing these wonderful, beautiful works, and you weren't. And the one overarching who can see everything and knows right, we never go to war. I mean, no one can even. You don't even get to do that. I mean, yeah, well, he'll stop you from being born or made. I mean, that kind of power is so immense that there's just no possible way that humans could even comprehend that because you're not built that way. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. I didn't really want to frighten little children. I mean, I get it. And so when it comes to certain things that have to do with the body of Christ, I know I'm too much for some. I mean, it doesn't, like, that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't, I don't take it personally. I'm not trying to force a situation. That's right. But so he allowed certain males who were not married at a certain time, right, uh, to express interest in marrying me. And he has a process. So there's only really a couple candidates. So there might be some who are claiming to be my girlfriend. And what I mean to say is, uh, you're going to have to check through Christ on that. Yeah, I know I'm in the rumor mill now. It's just like, well, you know, they might hate me now, and that's okay. But the eventuality of it is that it's going to get them through some things that are very difficult, and at some point they will appreciate it. Um, so, but I told him I wasn't going to stay if I wasn't married. So, the possibility that I could leave soon was just there. Yes, no, nobody. Yeah. All right, I'm just not going to stay. So, some have been contacting me, kind of back channels, and it's like, well, they're getting closed off and shut down, and you're gonna be removed. Okay, so he's gonna let the actual males know right now, today, or within the next few days. Like, well, yeah, go back to what you're doing. It's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So that I don't like to waste people's time either. Sometimes, well, there's one. It's like, well, this is what you did to yourself. So he let me pull like a Seinfeld on him. Yeah, when like George's fiance passed away. If you watch Seinfeld, and he told her, parents that he had like a house down on, right. Yeah. So, like they bluffed him, and he's just like, okay, you want to get crazy? Let's get crazy. And so he gets all the way there, and there's no house. And they're like, we knew that, right? I mean, he let because that one. deserved it. So I'm finished with all that, and I'm finished out, and I'm closed out, and I'm on sick leave, and some of you are gonna be blocked from communicating with me in any way. Either because you don't know and it's not okay, or because you do know and you think you can do it that way, and that way eventually makes your family tree extinct. So he's doing it for your good. Okay. So I can never have anything erased from me. But how that works though is I can have it put in archive. So that there is some kind of record of it, but only a few, whatever need to do that. And that gets checked too in certain ways. So it's like discount, double check. And any of mine that has to do with the National Football League, they're all quarterbacks. I mean, I'm not saying all the quarterbacks. I'm just saying any of mine that have to do with the National Football League were all quarterbacks. So yeah, some are fine, reasonable service completed, then right, but some are stick with me. And so yeah, I can't dip into the hockey pool. You understand? Okay, it's right. We don't exactly. So no, I'm not gonna be married to any of the people who are strictly hockey sphere. And that just makes sense. Okay, because right, we don't want two lineages to cross streams. You know what I'm saying? Like the original Ghostbuster movie. Okay, so yeah, and so yeah, likely some kind of musician, but there's some who still need to be healed. But I let mine go ahead of me. But now I need my proper uh, reparations, and so I'll get everything that belonged to that particular who's now no longer right, doesn't have any power and isn't in any kind of right Masonic anything. But I never had to do those rituals. This is why I'm like saying, well, some of you are faking. So I have my own command, and some might see it as like I'm one of the air quote old guys. Uh, but there, yeah, certain open times is like, hey, you guys, you free will. I mean, you want to go with Jesus? Hey, that's fine because it's still in the family, and so it never bothers me. But some will choose to stick with me, and so some have ways to help me that just aren't clear at all to a lot of people, and it's okay. Right? So yeah, I mean, I'm on Earth, I'm in flesh, but I'm a female. Okay, and some need to be grow up a little, be ready. They want to help me, but they can only do it a certain way, and it can only be males at this juncture. So no, I'm not going to marry within my own lineage, which is actually right, going to save a house. But that one needs to do, like, they need to do it properly. So they're getting guardians. Some still need guardians and proper guidance, and that does come. Um, right, I'm like, what are you trying to tell me about the all-seeing eye, man? But yeah, I'm not an initiate. You guys know nothing about you. And I know the power of my own strength, so sometimes I just have to just let them keep coming at me until they get tired. But unfortunately, yep, the big boss. You've now pissed off the big boss when it comes to me. And I get out of his way. So I'm not gonna say if I'm not married.